Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. Hey folks, and welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy Podcast. I have another cool person that I met briefly at Folk Canada conference this year, and making a new exploratory into the genres. I've never spoken to too many jazz people. So I got one this time, and this is Rochelle Beausoleil. Comment ça va?
Ça va bien. Thank you for saying my name properly.
I read and pay attention. Yeah, there you go. Even if I had to write it out phonetically on my paper just to make sure I said it correct.
Thank
And that
you.
was the extent of my French, by the way, which with a last name like mine makes a lot of people go, what? I've gotten two calls from CBC radio, the French version, asking if I could do an interview in French. I've lost two opportunities, and they wouldn't transfer me to the English side.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know, that's terrible, eh? So, Rachel, I've heard this from people with degrees in music. You tell me what you think. If you want to take the fun out of music, learn theory. What do you think? No?
I don't. No, I don't agree. I don't agree at all.
Okay.
For me, what we call musical theory is really literacy. It's just knowing how to read and understanding what you're doing as a musician. To me, doesn't take the fun out of it. Quite the contrary. I get really, really nerdy about that stuff.
Good.
But
That's what I'm looking for. I knew you would come across like this. That's why.
but I would say the contrary. I'd say it makes you a better musician to really understand
that it does. Yes.
and be able to analyze what you're doing, and it helps with memorization.
Yeah.
Because it recruits a part of your brain that understands more deeply what it is you're doing, and you're making different cognitive connections. I'm really. You asked the right question. I definitely. I'm on the side of defending music theory for sure.
Atta girl. Okay, well that's cool. No, I just wanted to start off with something like that and see what you thought in that respect. Like I said, my theory. I said the word interval. That's it. But I find music theory like math, and I suck. I barely got out of high school. Okay.
Yeah.
I think my final grade was 53.
I think it really honestly depends on how it's taught.
Probably.
One of the things that I do with my students, and most singing students don't expect to do a lot of music literacy with their teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
They expect to get that in guitar class or in piano class, but they don't expect that in voice class. And they're a little bit surprised and taken aback when I present that stuff, but then they realize, oh, now I get it, and it really makes something deeper for them, and I think it's really quite helpful, actually. Cool. And it's all in how it's taught. Like I don't teach music theory in a memorizing fashion.
Good for you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I teach it in such a way that the person really deeply understands why it's like that.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
guy like ADHD me here, I can make most teachers walk away and go, never mind. So anyways, let's go to your origin story, as they say with the superheroes.
Sure.
Your beau gave you voice lessons.
Yeah.
He later became your husband.
Yes.
It was a great gift, obviously, eh?
Yeah.
So how long was it, Rachel, because it looks like it was really rapid. Like you took voice lessons, you went, oh my God, I love this, and grabbed anything you could to learn about music. So what kind of a timeline is like, okay, you got your first voice lessons and now you're out performing and recording?
Right. So it didn't happen that quickly, obviously. Timing wise, I had already joined a choir. I had had voice training in Montreal when I was in Cégep.
Hmm.
I was in the Marianopolis Cégep in their music program, which was in conjunction with McGill University at the time. I don't know if it's still like that, but and so I had already sort of explored the idea of doing a career in music.
Cool.
I got steered away from doing any music from various bad influences in my life. We'll leave it at that.
Uh-huh.
And,
Yeah.
and I spent a period of about 7 years without doing any music, actually. And it's when I had a full-time job in Ottawa as a silly servant. Um, and and I was kind of wasting away as a civil servant. It really wasn't for me.
Yes.
And that's where I met my future husband. I joined a choir at work
Oh,
at that
cool.
time. Yeah. So he knew that I had an interest in music, obviously. And he, when we started dating, the first thing he gave me as a gift for a Christmas present was a card that said, I've arranged these voice lessons for you. You don't have to go. But he said, I just wanted to open a door.
Nice.
And the first thing out of my mouth was, how did you know? And he just looked at me. How did I know? He said, your apartment is covered in notes. I had mugs with notes and
Uh-huh.
posters with notes, and there was notes everywhere in my apartment.
Cool.
I had a big, huge, the old-fashioned TV with a tube, massive TV, this square thing that I never watched, but it stood in my living room as a music stand. And I had this book of lyrics on top, and I stood for hours, like literally hours, singing. I had lyrics, just sheets of lyrics, and I would just stand there and sing for 2, 3 hours.
Good for
And
you.
he's like, how did I know? He said, it's very obvious. So
Yeah,
I
no
was just
kidding.
like, of course I'm going to go. So I
Yeah.
did. And the teacher's name was Wendell Atchison. He was ancient at the time. And I had 2 lessons a week, and they were $25 each. And he decided how long the lesson was. He knew he would have me in, and then he'd say, okay, the lesson's over. And I would have to, and it was required to be there twice a week. And it would vary between 20 minutes to 45-minute lessons to an hour-ish. And he would just, yep, you've learned what you had to learn today. You may go. So,
I love it.
and as luck would have it, he was in walking distance from my workplace, so I went there at lunchtime, and so yeah, so that was terrific, and I that's when I started to spend again, like I already spent hours a day singing,
Hmm.
but now I had a bit more structure, and I started to do vocal exercises and do this, just really geeking out on voice work and singing for like 2 hours. And by the time Ian and I were married, he was just like, when do you get to sing B?
There you go.
So
There
so
you
yeah,
go.
that was a very formative time physically for my voice, because
I love
it
it.
was all that development was happening, and I was at the right age for it. So
Yeah. So it wasn't really a quick process then. But you were dedicated. You were going for it. That was it.
I was, yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
That's no, it takes a big decision to leave a government job full time, and all the fun things I was a civil servant for
The
the
benefits,
provincial
yeah,
government too.
yeah, yeah.
Not in a one that I recommend anyone doing because it was not a great job, um, but that it would make most parents probably faint if you walked up and told them. Because I ask artists that, and I don't ask artists your age that. I don't say, "Hey, what'd your parents say when you say, 'Hey, mom, dad, I'm leaving and I'm going to do music full
Yeah,
time?'"
yeah, yeah,
But it would
yeah.
make. Was it tough? I mean, dropping
It
away
was
from that.
tough. I mean, when I made that decision, I was only 25,
Oh wow,
24, 24 or
just
so.
like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, it was at that time. I had been in that job for, I think, 2.5, 3 years or so.
Hmm.
Um, and it was by then Ian and I were married, and it was a joint decision. I was really, in fact, it was a government career counselor that I saw
Oh, wow.
named Odette Dupuis. Odette. Oh, I wonder if
Oh,
she's out there somewhere.
that's a
But
famous name,
it's a beautiful name.
isn't
And
it?
she asked me she sat me down in her office one day, and I was just struggling with what I wanted to do with my life and everything. And she said, I'm just going to go and get us a cup of coffee. She said, while I'm gone, write down on this paper 3 things that you would do if you didn't have to worry about money and didn't have to worry about anything and there were no limits.
Hmm.
And I said, okay. So it was super easy.
Yeah, really.
I put down being an opera diva, uh, being a music teacher, and being a lounge singer is what I wrote down at the time. Lying on a piano,
Oh, there you go. Not the Bill Murray kind, right?
and and she came back and she said, "Oh, okay, what are you doing here?" um, and anyway, we started exploring, and she was amazing. She was so honest about her job, and she wasn't. I was always surprised that she didn't try to keep me in the civil service. She just wanted what was best for me,
That's the great
and
thing about
and
them,
that
I
was
don't
it. That
believe.
was incredible. And
Yeah.
yeah, and in fact, there was another experience that was similar to that before I got that job, where I was looking for a job, and I had a degree in Russian already. Strange, I know, but
Okay.
languages. I did languages and literature in Spanish and Russian in my first degree. And after that, I was looking for a job, but there was nothing in translation in the early 90s. There were no jobs. And so I applied for a job at CSIS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you get a
And
spy?
yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I saw this job posting. I was like, okay, whatever. And so I applied for this job. And the first thing they did was have you interviewed by a psychologist. And they must have asked, I'm sure, 5,000 questions that day. And they asked everything twice to make sure they would trip you up, if you said the different things. So I went and spent the day and whatever. And then they had me interviewed by a psychologist. And she said, same kind of thing, she said, why are you here? And she said, your profile really shows an artistic bent.
Uh-huh.
That's what really comes through the most strongly. And I just laughed. She said, why are you here? I said, look, I want a job. I just need a job.
Yeah.
And she was like, bye bye. She said, get out of here. You don't belong here. And
Wow.
it was the most like eye-opening interview, and she was so honest, and she did me such a favor, that I'm always grateful for her to her for being so honest with me and just saying, go and follow your passion.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
And speaking of languages, tell me about these Brazilian albums you have, all the way
Yes,
from Brazil.
yes, yes.
So,
So it's kind of coming from my studies a little bit, but
okay.
also performing. So I had a Latin group in the late 90s, and I was singing some Portuguese stuff, and my Chilean percussionist, Alvaro de Minaya, who I still work with,
Nice.
he was helping me pronounce the Portuguese. Now that was a bit of a start there, but in 2009 there was a musician who came to town called Evandro Gracelli, and I got introduced to him. I was going out to a show by someone else. I think it was René Joly who was playing. And Evandro came up to me, said, "Oh, my friend says you're a singer." I said, yeah. And then we just chatted what we like to do and blah blah blah. And he went away, and we exchanged information. And then a week later, I got an email from him, and he said, "Madame, let's make music." I said, "Okay." So we started to work together, and he would come over here to my house every Wednesday morning, and we'd spend a couple of hours jamming and stuff. And then we started to build a repertoire. Like we were just writing, we started composing together. And I was making the charts up and whatever. Next time he came, I had something new to show him. So we built up a repertoire, and then we decided to perform it. And moving sort of fast forward, I went back to school in 2011 for a PhD in cultural mediations at Carleton.
Wow.
And Evandro at that time was going back home to Brazil. So I had two things. I had a PhD studies program, and I had an invitation to go down to Brazil to perform because he was moving back home to Sao
Nice.
Paulo, and
Yeah.
he said, "Come and sing down there." So, and then as the PhD moved along, I realized, I guess it was after my trip to Brazil because he invited me down there. I said, "Okay, I'm going to go on my dime." I just decided to go, and we performed. And while I was there were three things, all aspects of my musical being, if you want to put it that way, kind of came together: the teaching and the performing and the
Good for
studying,
you.
because I started talking to people and researching the music. And I was attending workshops, and my network expanded because it's like that down there. You talk to one person, they say, "Oh, you need to meet this three people." Like it was incredible how it expanded quickly. And when I came home from there, I realized I'm going to do my PhD on Brazilian music.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so, so
so
it kind
cool.
of all converged.
Hmm.
And I decided to learn the language. So, I'm doing a PhD. Why not just learn a language too? So, um,
I love it. Well, that leads into my next question too. So there you go.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if I
Okay.
answered the first one,
Well,
but
yeah. Well, I mean, here's the question in regards to that. Did you record there or here, or did you guys do the digital tossing back and forth? Yes to
yeah.
everything?
So, well, we did record down there. We did one recording session, he and I, but to be honest, I don't think that any of that material landed in the final album.
Oh, okay.
It was years later that it was after I finished the PhD. So the PhD took 6.5 years. That was because I had two kids at home. But I got it done. Um,
Good on you.
and then, as my gift to myself, I decided to, because I wrote about Brazilian music, popular music, in my thesis, I decided to make an album of Brazilian songs. The songs
Nice.
that I knew down there from workshops and master classes and stuff that were really popular to them, but that we don't really get to hear here in Canada that much. We're sort of fixated on Antonio Carlos Jobim, and it's really, most people don't really know the Brazilian repertoire that well, and there's so many different
Sergio
styles.
Mendes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's sort of this very small repertoire that people are familiar with, but there's so much. It's just like a huge, vast
I bet.
repertoire.
I bet.
And
Yeah.
so I decided to make an album of at least one album's worth of songs that I knew were canonical to them down in Sao Paulo, and that my friends recommended to me. And yeah, so that's why I did that album. So that was, but I had his participation from down there, and that album was half and half. I had one trio from here, and the other half of the album I did with him remotely. He recorded his parts in Sao
Sure.
Paulo,
Yeah.
and Normand Glaude, who was my sound technician here, did the technical aspect of bringing those things together and having us in the studio. I did the
Cool.
rest of it with the band live off the floor in his studio at Morning Anthem Studios.
Wow.
And yeah, and he did the work of bringing it all together technically so that we could
Sure.
hear Evandro
Yeah.
on that recording. And then it worked so well that I decided to do Evandro's and my original compositions on as its own set, a new
Yeah, I
album.
saw that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that
fantastic.
was Sol da Capital is our original composition. So we did that
How
whole
cool.
album that way. Yeah.
So how many languages do you speak?
Mm. Um, okay. English, French. So French is first. That was my
Hmm.
maternal language. English, I learned Spanish in high school and I continued to study that in university. And then I learned Russian and I did some Italian for the singing part when I was at Ottawa U. Language classes were part of the singing program. So I did Italian. And then I learned Portuguese for, as I just told you. And now I'm working on German. So that's seven. And
Wow.
I can sing in ancient Latin, but I don't understand it. Um, But
Gregorian chants or something like
yeah,
that.
but
That's cool. Well, that's
yeah.
it. So tell me, what language haven't you sung in that you would like to do some singing in, like or recording in?
Hmm. I am wavering between Inuktitut and Mandarin.
You
That's
punch way above your weight class, eh? Maybe it's not above your weight class. You know seven languages now. No, you are the weight class. Holy
I'm kind of
cow!
like, yeah, I'd really love to speak and be able to sing in Inuktitut. I think that would be amazing.
You have to get a hold of Susan Aglukark or something so you can hang out with
Yeah.
her. That's awesome. Incredible. So how's it coming with those songs that you got a grant for? The six songs.
Yeah.
How's that
So,
coming?
the six songs are written
Good.
and the final report has been submitted.
There you go.
And yeah, and I will have news after the 2nd of February that I will be able at liberty to share.
Okay, that's all we need to know. That people will need to keep up with you to find out what that's going to be.
That's right.
That's perfect. I love that kind of stuff. Um, Tell me, when I was reading your webpage and you said there's 91 songs on this. What? Pearl of Voices. Tell me about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, sure. Tri des Voix is an album of children's music. It's a double album. There's two, took up two CDs. I did that, I think I finished it in 2012. It took a long time from the time I proposed it to the time it was completed. It was like 5 years.
Wow.
But my kids were in school. They were at a school called Tri des Bois. It's in Ottawa, and it's a Waldorf-inspired education. Not pure Waldorf school because it's in a public system, but it's inspired by that kind of philosophy. And one of the things that they do is sing all these beautiful seasonal songs that are in the pentatonic mode. Do you
I
know
think
what
I know that.
pentatonic mode is? That
I
yeah.
know I play a pentatonic scale,
La
and
la
it's
la
got the
la la
devil's
la
note
la
in
la
it.
la. Yeah. So that's so these songs are in pentatonic mode, and they're speaking directly to the child. Very soft, never any dissonance. Very
I
beautiful
listened to a couple, yeah.
seasonal songs.
Yeah.
And I proposed it to the school board that we would make this album for new teachers to learn the repertoire that the kids were doing in school, for families to be able to sing together at home, and for a keepsake also, and also as a legacy for my own children. It was kind
Yeah.
of a labor of love to
Cool.
do the children's songs for them. Um, so yeah, it took a long time, and we practiced, in subsets and recorded in subsets because it was just a lot of material. But yeah, there's 91 tracks on there, and one of the but that's a bit cheater because one of them is two versions of the same tune.
Oh,
But
okay. That's cool.
nevertheless, it's
Yeah.
only
Nonetheless.
90.
Yeah. Oh, oh, so much easier.
But they're very short. They're very short little children's songs, and they're sweet and
Yeah, I noticed that.
soft,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
For every
So
season.
I
Hmm.
saw you sitting and playing a guitar. I know you play a piano. And I asked this of my friend Douglas John Cameron, who was with the band Whiskey Jack, and he played on my latest single. And he's another knows music kind of guy.
Hmm.
Uh, do you think, and I asked him this question, can a person compose better on a piano or a guitar? And
Oh,
does it lend itself better? Where do you like to write on? Or does that,
interesting.
and his answer was he felt that a person who knew piano could compose for because he can compose for TV and movies and the whole deal, and he's done that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Whereas he says guitar, you might be a little limited, but it has been done nonetheless.
Of course, it has been done. I think it totally depends on what you learned on possibly first, or maybe
Yeah.
the longest. Or
Yeah.
for me, composition happens in different ways. I have not yet got the ability to compose at the guitar. I've only been practicing guitar since 2018. That was my gift to myself after I finished the PhD. I said, I'm getting to play guitar. So I'm
Good for you.
so I started lessons then. So that's quite late for me. And but piano I learned as a kid. So it's a little bit more intuitive for me. I did 10 years of piano as a kid. So my hands kind of know where they're going. I didn't practice piano as an adult, but I dare say I'm getting better with the years of sort of teaching from the piano. I teach voice, but I'm sitting at the piano. So I end up practicing it by necessity. I'm really good at scales. But
I know my pentatonics all the way up and down the neck.
but I've gotten better at working with chords at the piano too. So for me, but my composing is, it happens on paper. I often wake up in the night and I have manuscript paper there, and I just put on my headlamp and I just start writing what's in my head.
Good on.
So there's I suppose another answer to your initial question, which is
that's great.
How do you use music theory? That's a really good example, because that wouldn't be possible if I didn't know my theory.
Well said. Yes. Yeah. There's a distinct advantage if you can do that. That's for darn sure.
Yeah. But I do sit at the piano and work things out, and I put the recorder on, and then I write them out after that.
There you go.
So I do a combination of things.
So, what's your favorite language to sing in?
Oh, not fair.
Not fair. Okay. Maybe you lean one way or the other. I don't know. Let's not try to. Let's try
right
to make
now. Okay. What I will say is right now my favorite language to sing in is. Can I have two?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No,
I'll say French and Portuguese.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna wait for that. Sorry, the language of the folks up north there. What was that language again?
Inuktitut.
Inuktitut. Okay. And I would just call it Inuit, but that's not correct, is it?
The language is called Inuktitut.
Inuktitut. There you go. Rachel, what's coming next for you? Rochelle, Rochelle. Rochelle, what is the next thing coming up for you?
Well, I'm going to be doing a recording of some of that new material that I've been writing. So I'm going to be working on that, and that's my next target. And that's the big scary bit. And I'm also because this has been a project of songs that I have not been collaborating with another writer on. These are all mine, or mostly mine. And so that's another level of vulnerability for me in terms of putting my stuff out there, that I don't have that partner to lean on to say, is this okay? So it's going to be all my own. And so that's a big leap for me. And I'm also working on, the really important thing that I'm working on right now is getting my act together in regards to royalties.
Yeah, gotta cross the T's and dot the I's there.
Oh my, I've been learning so much about what is required and all the things they didn't teach us at music school. They just didn't teach us about all this stuff. Like,
They
did you know
teach the art, but they don't teach the business, eh?
No, and did you know that we are responsible? I just learned this myself. We are responsible for providing an archival copy to the National Archives of any recording we make.
I wasn't aware of that one. That's a new one.
I know.
I know about registering with SOCAN and publishing and all that fun stuff, but I did not know about that.
We are responsible for giving two archival copies. If you're in Quebec, then it's BANQ. And if you're anywhere other than Quebec, it's the National Archives of Canada.
Okay.
And we're supposed to be providing a copy of our work so that it can be archived as Canadian material, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
I've just learned that I'm supposed to belong. I just learned a few weeks ago that I am a producer because I am the one forking over the money to make these recordings. And there's an association for that. It's called Panorama. And
Mm.
as a performing artist, I need to belong to Artisti, which is looking after my royalties from a performance standpoint. I need to belong to SOCAN as a composer and lyric writer. It's so complex,
Hmm.
and I've been learning so much about it recently thanks to this wonderful program called Meta Music. And these people are angels sent from heaven. They're teaching me how it all gets put together. And by the time I'm through with it, I will have figured out how the money flows from the streams to my bank account.
That a girl.
You
See?
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
that's
how
one
the
thing.
radio, somebody plays my song in Finland national radio. I know from my stats that that has happened,
Yeah.
but where's the money? The money can't reach me because it's not registered in the right way. And you got to do all this work to enter that
Yep.
metadata so that it
Yes.
reaches you.
And that's what I got to do too with a company called Resound. And
Resound.
I typed in I think I typed in one of my songs, and they
Right.
went, "Yep, there it is. So you better register all your stuff." And
Right.
I'm still in the process of entering all that data because it's like, you know.
Well,
But yeah,
you
so yeah, that's good. That's the part they never teach you in school, right? That you got to know that stuff. Yeah,
Well, Meta Music, I'm tooting the horn of Meta Music right now
good,
and forever always because they are the one-stop shop where you can put your metadata into one place
nice.
and then have it be deposited at all these various associations that need to know
Yeah,
so that the money starts rolling into you.
yeah, yeah.
Instead of entering it once here and once there and again here and again there, you enter it in one place and they have all the information required. It's
There you go.
incredible.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Rochelle Beausoleil, please tell the folks where they can find out more about you and follow you and get into your stuff.
Yeah. So my website is www.rachelbeausoleil, that's RachelBeausoleil.ca.
Perfect. And all her links are in there, and she's on Instagram and all the rest of it. And her music is where you would want to find her music. But we want you to buy it from Bandcamp because buying is better than renting music.
Très des Voix is on Bandcamp, but I still don't have all my other stuff on Bandcamp, unfortunately, because
Wow.
they don't want any cover tunes, eh?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know about that.
No, Bandcamp doesn't take cover tunes, and
No.
my initial albums were
Yeah, I
cover
could see
tunes.
that.
So,
Yeah, that's too bad. Oh, well, there you go. Rachel,
yeah.
thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Great to talk to you.